Hi everyone, you're welcome on my YouTube channel Capsule. The subject of this video is to improve the writing and editing skills. If you are writing not making an impact to the readers, you are running short of editing skills, or you don't have access to a professional editor, just watch this video. It tells about the key tips to improve the editing skills. Watch this whole video if you really want to make an impact on the readers. So here we go with 11 most important manuscript editing tips. I assure you by the end of this video you will be able to understand how to communicate more clearly with the readers. So let's start with the first point. The very first point is the change in the format. Yes, you hear that right. Some people like to work right at the computer while others like to sit back with a printed copy. If you are reading your own text at the computer and getting bored, just take a print of it and read it again. You will definitely find some new mistake in the document. Alternatively, convert your Word format to PDF or change font type, color and size to a different one. These techniques help you see your content from an outsider's perspective and give you a more critical eye. Finding a quiet place to work is an other useful practice. Don't try to do your proofreading at noisy place. Find a place where you can concentrate and avoid distractions. If possible, take a break. Yes, this is the next point. It's hard to edit or proofread a paper that you have just finished writing. Therefore, let your writing rest for a few hours overnight or for a week. Putting a literal distance between you and your work also creates an emotional distance. Just go for a run, take a trip to the beach, make your mind fresh and return back. When you return to it, you are more likely to spot awkward phrases and obvious mistakes. However, if you are running short of time, you can prioritize your content. Make sure that you complete the most important editing and proofreading tasks before submission. Now the third point is read it loud. It is another important point to consider. To discover the rhythm of your own writing, read it loud. The best writing sounds smooth, so if you find yourself scrambling through poorly worded sentences, you know it needs improving. Try this if you are writing an editorial or manuscript, so read it loud whenever required. As the next step, you can remove uncertain sentences from your text. A good communication sounds authoritative, so avoid writing wishy-washy sentences. In phrases like seems to be or could be a reason for, you sound indecisive and it weakens your message. So you need to place your message strongly. Yes, just make it hard. Now the other important suggestion could be avoiding repetition. It is advised that try not to rely on certain words or phrases to make your point. Readers notice when you repeat yourself. So aim for varieties. In that case, you can just use a word frequency counter to find repetitive words. Rather, you can use alternatives. As some of the writers use filler words most often that create nuisance in the sentences. Rather, try to eliminate filler words from your text. You can use a word processor to search for there, here and it to find redundant words and phrases. For example, it's fun to edit your own writing. In this sentence, the use of it was not required. This type of sentences weakens the message. You can place your message as editing your own writing is fun. This sentence is somewhat stronger. So, placing your message strongly can make an impact to the potential readers. Here the emphasis still on making a strong pitch. So, you can remove the weak verbs from your text. To be is a weak verb. Using the verb to be weaken the sentence. Therefore, you can replace is, am, are, was, were, been and being with a stronger alternatives. For example, they were not enjoying the editing process. It is a very weak sentence. You can place it like they hated the editing process. It makes some strong messes. Further, the editing process repulses them. It is even more stronger sentence, so place your masses hard. Adjectives also weaken the masses, so here you can remove weak adjectives from your text. While describing nouns and pronouns, use more powerful adjectives and avoid the word really or very. For example, he was really scared of snakes. It seems weak sentence. You can place it like he was terrified of snakes. Even more strongly, snakes terrified him. Considering these points in your writing makes an impact. Further improvement in the editing process can be done using some grammar-based softwares. These help find grammatical mistakes. These are based on a strong vocabulary and more than 250 advanced rules to find mistakes such as double negatives, run-on sentences and dangling modifier. Once you have been familiar of these kind of softwares, you will start finding common weaknesses in your writing. However, you need not totally rely on these kinds of software. These are based on the probability. So, I advise you to check the sentence before finalizing the content via software. You can use them for some time, learn from them and then make correction of your own. For further improvement, you can separate your editing tasks into parts. If the thought of editing your own work terrifies you, break down the task into series of manageable steps. In the first read-through, check your ideas flow logically. In the next read-through, look at the sentence structure. In the next round, check sign and denotations. Further, you can check for citations and then data matching. Every time you read your content, just take one criterion to edit your writing. It is the best way of finalizing your content because no one can check a document on each possible criterion in a single read-through. So, make several parts of your document is also required. And finally, the last one is the subscription of the editing tips based YouTube channels. You can subscribe my channel for regular updates on editing tips. I do not charge for it. It takes few seconds only. So subscribe it to gain knowledge. Just feel like you are investing in your future as an impactful writer. Thanks for watching.